Hey guys, welcome to episode 7 of season 2 at Chelsea. We've Everton away to start us off. It's second versus third in the Premier League. I'm not sure who Bournemouth have on this match day. They've Watford away. Now Watford were down near the bottom. In fact, they're 19th. Watford. Liverpool have clawed themselves back up to 14th, so their season is recovering. City 11th now, Arsenal 8th, Spurs 7th, United 6th. Ourselves 3rd though, the highest of the big 6, so to speak. And only 3 points off top, although you expect Bournemouth to win against Watford. I'm not guaranteed of beating Everton either, so let's not get too carried away, shall we? We've Everton to start, and then it's Leeds midweek. We'll simulate the game against Cardiff, and then play Manchester United away to end the month and the calendar year before heading into another very busy month in January. So there's a lot to do between now and the end of the season in the domestic competitions. Obviously no European football for us this season for reasons we've covered multiple times already, so we won't delve into it. We've £165 million to spend. I'm not sure I want to spend anything. I'm not sure we need to spend anything. We made 8 signings in January in the summer transfer window. If you include Sancho and Ben Chilwell that joined us from the latter stages of last season, Ben Chilwell still out injured for the time being. So we are. I have depth. I have quality in depth. I don't know where to buy, if I even need to buy anywhere. I might just keep going and not sign anyone in January because I'm not sure anyone's going to make any difference. We'll play Everton here. Maybe today's episode will change my mind, but I'm not sure it will. Everton away to start us off, and hopefully we can get a little bit closer to top by the end. Right, Everton, Jordan Pickford in goal for them. John Joe Kenny at right back. Keane, Kimpembe and Digne as the back four. Gbamin, Gomez holding with Richarlison on the right. Sigurdsson and Alex Iwobi, and then Moise Keane up top for Everton. Foggy conditions here at Goodison Park. Really misty and foggy. Thankfully, when we get to this particular camera angle, it's okay. Especially with me being in white, I don't want to blend into the blend into the cloud and fog and not be able to pick my players out. You do get that sometimes on like the south coast, since some games played at Fratton Park for Portsmouth and other teams on the south coast a few years ago that were played in such thick fog you could barely pick anyone out. Regardless, we can see perfectly fine at the minute. And at the minute, I see Richarlison in behind. And Moise Keane is not going to see the ball into the back of the net, thankfully. Koulibaly, former Serie A rival, now a Premier League rival of Moise Keane, able to deny him the opening goal of the game. Andre Gomez, quick free kick, intercepted by N'Golo Kante. That was really poor from Everton. Jadon Sancho trying to twist and turn away. I cannot get past any of their players. Being able to dribble past them is impossible in this game so far. Tammy struggling up top. Jadon Sancho struggling on the right. Pulisic hasn't necessarily had much better luck on the left either. John Joe Kenny kind of keeping him in his pocket so far. Emerson, there we go, that's well worked. Now, John Joe Kenny isn't in the way. Let's see if we can get him behind and actually create a decent chance. I see Goretzka there, and I'll look for Tammy through that. No! Through that gap. This has been an incredibly tight first half where I don't think either side have yet had a shot. We'll have a look at the stats at half-time when they pop up, but Alex Iwobi played him around the corner here. Moise Keane could get on the end of it. It's going to be 1-0 Everton, let alone a chance. Andre Gomez smashes that home at the near post. Kante with Gylfi there, and Kovacic just doesn't track Gomez at all. In fact, Goretzka's tracked back further than Kovacic has. It's terrible midfield play from Matteo. And that may well be the first chance of the entire game, or the first shot of the entire game for either side. And it's gone in. It's practically the last kick of the half as well. We'll have a look at the half-time stats. Keep an eye, if we can, on the Watford-Bournemouth result as well. Watford-Bournemouth is currently 1-0 ball. Ah, no. I want Bournemouth to lose, don't I? I thought, hang on a minute. And I realised, no, I want it the other way around. Match facts. Oh, they've had 2 shots, apparently. Well, regardless of how many shots they've had, they've got a goal and I haven't. So, big second half coming up. Kovacic. Back to Pulisic again. Tammy is there. Is he going again, Christian? He is. Get it out to him. Oh, it's a lovely take. And he's getting away from John Joe Kenny here. And try and pull this back, looking for Tammy. It's actually Kante. Oh, N'Golo, what a finish. Didn't expect that from the little man. I thought he was just going to try and get it in the bottom corner and place it. Smash. Right into the top corner. What a goal. Just on the edge on his own. Similar. Oh, it was pushed into the top corner by Pickford. He did get a big hand to it. Similar lack of midfield marking that we suffered from for their goal. Great finish from N'Golo Kante. Thank you, mate. 2 goals in the Premier League. He now has as many goals in the Premier League as Tammy Abraham. Says everything about Tammy's season thus far, doesn't it? Kimpembe over the top. We'll pick that off. Hopefully we can build on that now. They weren't able to kind of get any momentum from their goal because we went in for half-time immediately. Hopefully now we can build on that and have a really positive second half and get ourselves in front sooner rather than later. Inside there nicely to Andre Gomez. Trying to get him to go back up to Digne because I don't really feel threatened with the ball out wide there. Here's Andre Gomez again. Forced backwards. Alex Iwobi. Good tackle by Sancho. Everton's throw. No changes yet by either side. I'm contemplating bringing Rodrigo on though for Tammy. He just hasn't been at it this season. I don't know why. Don't you dare, Gylfi. Comfortable enough for Kepa. I don't know why Tammy hasn't been performing this season, but he definitely is playing really poorly. Gylfi to deliver this, and it's a decent whip. Kepa will come and punch away. It'll be Jadon Sancho that chases after it. And then Pulisic could get in behind again. It's his assist that led to the goal for Kante. And we're trying to do it again. I've got Goretzka. I've got Tammy here. Tammy! It's just not his season, is it, Tammy Abraham? It's not his season at all. Rodrigo's going to come on here, and hopefully that will change things around for us. Loftus-Cheek on for Kovacic as well, who's not had the best of games. A dodgy afternoon for both of them, I think. Jadon Sancho now to take the corner as Kovacic was on it. And it's a decent delivery. Koulibaly's up. It's going to drop here to Emerson. Struck well enough, but deflected away. Pulisic drilled into the middle. It was meant for Kante, but it went all the way across to the far side. Sancho, Rodrigo, looking to spin. I was hoping kind of for a free kick there as we got chipped. Koulibaly with a terrible header. Kante with a great tackle on Gylfi Sigurdsson there. Get away from the Icelandic international and work that to Jadon Sancho. Hakimi's on the overlap. Got to use him. See the man at the back post. I'll try and nod it back into the middle, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek sweeps it wide of the goal. Really good opportunity that, but he's pulled it all the way across the face of goal and out for a goal kick. Enzo Perez. Oh, that's a name we haven't seen for a very long time in career mode. Enzo Perez, formerly of Valencia, playing for Everton here, coming off the bench for them. Used to be a really good go-to centre mid quite a few years ago in career mode. Kind of the all-rounder that you could guarantee getting quality performances from. Here's Leon Goretzka. I'll use Kante first, then look for Rodrigo. Out wide here to Jadon Sancho. If Rodrigo could get himself in a decent position, we could play him in. Goretzka back to him, and Rodrigo scores. And that is exactly why Tammy Abraham is on the bench only. He'll be going back to it, and Rodrigo will be restored back to the starting lineup after this. Fantastic finish from him. Goretzka laying it back to him, and to be fair, it was an easy opportunity, but Tammy had one just before I subbed him off that he could easily have tucked away, and he didn't. Rodrigo banging that off the post from around about the penalty spot. Take a touch to the outside of his right, smack it home with his left, and we're in front. Out to Enzo Perez. Oh, it's a great delivery. Koulibaly will head away and find Goretzka, thankfully, rather than an Everton man. I'll try and get that to Jadon Sancho. A third would be a little bit harsh on Everton. They have played particularly well. Kept me completely out. A full-on shutout in the first half. I didn't have any opportunities whatsoever. But we fought back in this second period, but there's plenty of options for Richarlison here. And I didn't commit to either closing down the passing lane or closing down Richarlison there. And by doing so, we were able to actually marshal him well enough to ensure that they didn't get a proper goal-scoring opportunity. And by doing so, that might well have won us the game, because that was a really good opportunity for Everton there. Hakimi will play that into Kante, and we'll just keep possession for the final 3 minutes and ensure that we go at least second in the table and remain as a maximum 3 points behind Bournemouth at the top of the table. Hopefully, Watford might have picked up an equaliser against them in the second half, but Bournemouth were 1-0 up at half-time. I do desperately hope that Watford were able to pull something out of the bag there. Much better second half for us. I couldn't have been any worse than the first, could it? I didn't do anything, and Watford did pull back an equaliser. We're a point off top. That's massive. Thank you, Watford. You heroes. We've Leeds next. Oh, Ben Chilwell coming back from injury as well. That's exactly what we needed to hear. Tammy Abraham will be coming out of the starting lineup now, and Rodrigo going back in. I'm sorry, Tammy. I genuinely am sorry, but you just have not been anywhere near good enough. Just hasn't. I've got no excuses for him. He's not been performing this season. Let's have another quick train, and then we'll head into that game against Leeds United. Leeds starting lineup. Kiko Casilla in goal for them. Luke Ayling, Simonovic, Cooper and Alioski as a back four. Goralski holding, then another four in midfield. Golizada, Roberts, Phillips and Barrios. Apologies if I butchered that name. And Patrick Bamford as their number 9 through the middle. Rodrigo restored to the starting lineup. And we'll see if we can get something. Well, hopefully we will against Leeds at home at Stamford Bridge. This should be one of the easier games of the season, but we thought that about Fulham, and my God, was that a mistake to think that that was going to be an easy game. Because it certainly wasn't. We nearly ended up getting beaten by them. Pulisic delivers the ball in. And it's weighted too heavily, and no one's on the end of it. Still the ball comes forward, and still Pulisic could have something to say. Got caught there. Rodrigo looks for Kante. His legs aren't long enough. Goretzka's not tall enough. Kovacic gets it to Kante. And around the corner, Jadon Sancho hit it early and hard. Good save by Casilla. Oh, Pulisic, that's a terrible header. Absolutely woeful. No idea why it's been that badly misplaced. 10 minutes in, 0-0. Good save by Kiko. Playing well here. Goralski thought he was going to go the other way, and he didn't. Phillips could go back for the other ball. He has done. Goralski's in the box. Comfortable enough for Kepa to hold on, thankfully. Just pump that forward. Misplaced it. Or at least haven't been able to challenge for the header. It's Phillips across to Goralski again. Bamford back to Phillips. Into the stand. Pulisic to Goretzka. Well done. Oh, space for Jadon. Oh, Golo even. Bamford drawing the defenders out of position. Doesn't necessarily do me any favours. Bamford. Oh, it's a nice ball around the corner. And he's in the middle, Bamford. Just as well I read that. Otherwise, that would certainly been an easy tap-in for him. We'll try and send Sancho away. Maybe he can have an easy tap-in of his own. Nodding it forward really nicely. Jadon Sancho in behind. Jadon Sancho, 1-0 Chelsea. As they very nearly have a one-on-one opportunity at the other end. Only expert defending has kept them out. And on the counter, they've overcommitted. Jadon Sancho scores. It's Chelsea 1, Leeds United 0. Ayling, nicely picked off by Pulisic. Dink that, and Hakimi could get in behind him. Luke Ayling was out of position. Oh, it's Chilwell even. Driving forward. I forgot Chilwell was back in his starting lineup. He's got Rodrigo in the middle, who was offside there briefly. I'm going to keep going. Why not then, Ben Chilwell? Well, I could have laid that across, but he'd done so well to that point. I felt like he deserved the opportunity to try and score himself the goal. Get that into N'Golo Kante. Got Goretzka there. Looked quickly for Rodrigo, but it was aimed at Sancho, apparently. And now they'll come away on the counter. Can they do to me what I did to them? We've got plenty more bodies back in support, that's for sure. They've ridden out the advantage, and still they come forward. If they can get an equaliser before half-time, then it would be a very competitive second half, you'd imagine. It's probably still going to be a competitive second half regardless, and we've comfortably saved there, and we'll pump that clear. We're going to be 1-0 up at half-time. Phillips through the gap there to Bamford. Nice tackle by Koulibaly, just stood firm and was in the way. Rodrigo to Kante. Rodrigo could go again here. It's actually Pulisic that's been played in. I aimed it at Rodrigo. And can we find a teammate? Oh, there is Rodrigo. Oh, and it's a simple second for him. This is why I'm playing Rodrigo, not Tammy. It's such a shame to see Tammy's form drop, but Rodrigo is absolutely killing it and, well, taking the mickey out of the Leeds fans. He'd never get away with that in real life. He'd be grabbed by a fan and absolutely destroyed. Standing there on the hoardings, pointing at all the Leeds fans in the top tier. That's very brave, Rodrigo. Cheeky no-look finish as well. Oh, he's 10th of the Premier League season. What a signing he's turned out to be. Oh, nice little 1-2. Still coming forward here, Leeds. Not sure where they are in the table. I think they're down near the bottom and struggling with form. Their starting lineup is really, really weak. And their defence is all over the place. Pulisic to make it 3. Oh, Jesus. You are kidding me. I slowed down and settled myself and settled myself and settled myself to try and put it in the corner. I want to see where this went with regards where I aimed it. If I did aim it that poorly, then it's my bad. Where have I aimed that? I've aimed it right in the corner. He's kicked it straight. I'm aiming towards the corner there, and he's hit it directly straight at the goalkeeper. What can I do? It's just unfortunate. Thankfully, we aren't desperate for a goal. Kovacic with the delivery. Oh, Rudiger's header goes just over the bar. It's the closest we've come with a header from a corner for a while. Corners really aren't anywhere near as effective as they were on FIFA 19. That is for damn sure. Bamford with the 1-2 with Gleich. Over the top looking for Golly. He's found well. Oh, and that turn was brilliant. I wasn't expecting that. Ready for the through ball that doesn't come. Oh, advantage played, and they'll take it. And Bamford's in and scores against his former team. Patrick Bamford makes it Leeds 1, Chelsea 2. Well, I think if Rodrigo hadn't gone and taunted the Leeds fans, perhaps Bamford wouldn't have quite celebrated in that manner either. But really good use of the advantage. You love to see it. Buried it in the bottom corner. Really nicely done. Right, Leeds back in it. Time to step it up again. Maybe we'd gotten a little bit complacent and taken our foot off the gas. Luke Ayling through the gap to Gleich. Here's Golly in behind. Chilwell caught out of position. Cross to come in. There it is. And at the back post, Hakimi flicks it on. That was dangerous. Leeds have been dangerous, especially in this last half hour of the fixture. Golly with the delivery. Up we go. Cooper wins there. Oh, the header, and that was travelling, but wide of the target, thankfully. We'll try and get it to Tammy here and use him to flick it down. Okay, it's going to go to Mason Mount instead. Fair enough. He was able to flick it down. Hudson-Odoi into Tammy Abraham. Oh, it's a terrible pass looking for N'Golo Kante. Click forward to man in the middle, but thankfully we've gotten a foot in. I've really been under pressure for this second half. Leeds have battled so very, very hard and deserve really to get something from the game, but they might end up losing by 3-1. Jadon Sancho bearing down on goal, and Casillas with a good save. I could have squared it to Mason Mount. Decided to go for it myself and probably should have played the pass. Kante will get under this. Oh, I was going to try and flick it over his head to score the flamboyant final goal by volleying it first time. We'll get the victory. We'll take it, but it was less convincing than we thought it was going to be in the early stages. Jadon Sancho with the first goal. Rodrigo with the second. Sancho with a second for himself and a third for us offside. We get the win. And Bournemouth have lost. Newcastle United have gone down to the Vitality. And we are top of the Premier League table by a point from Everton and 2 from Bournemouth. Seems. You still have your place in the squad, Antonio. You just played in that game. Why are you coming to me to complain about first team football when I've just played you? Not sure about that. Right, we'll simulate Cardiff. This might be a good test of how far the team's come, because we simulated Cardiff with this rotated 11 earlier in the season. Where's Tammy? Put Tammy in the rotation side. Earlier in the season, and actually lost 2-1 in Wales. So I'm certainly hoping that in this home game simulated, we can get a victory this time around, please. Yes, Tammy with a brace. He's picked up a knock though. So he's scoring goals in simulated games, but isn't doing it for me in played ones recently. He's got the 1 against Villa. I'll consider it, but probably not. Tammy's out for 2 days. That's fine. That's not a problem. Right. The final game of the calendar year. Manchester United away from home. Pretty sure they beat us in the game at Old Trafford, didn't they? I'll have a quick check of the calendar. I'm pretty sure we lost to Man United. We definitely haven't done too well against them in this save. Let's check. Man United, where was that game? Was it September? No, it was August. It was right. It was the first game of the season. And yes, we lost by 3-0. Battered and bruised. Right, we'll try and return the favour then in this third and final game of the episode. United starting 11. David De Gea in goal. Wan-Bissaka at right back. Niklas Süle at centre back alongside Maguire with Jonas Hector at the left. Fred and Andreas Pereira in the middle. They don't have many good centre mids at all. Januzaj, Lingard and Martial sat behind Rashford. Of course, they sold Pogba in this save. Genuinely, Fred and Andreas Pereira are their best possible central midfield players that they could play in that position. It's one weak spot in an otherwise quite strong team, especially with the improvement in defence with Niklas Süle. Adnan Januzaj is 81 rated on the wing, but certainly has the stats to impress and perform. We'll wait and see what they can do. Rashford is 86 rated now in this save. Martial is getting on nicely towards the upper ends of the 80s as well. They are going to be dangerous going forward, as we saw in the game at Stamford Bridge earlier on this season. They battered me 3-0 at home. I'd love to hand out something similar to them away, but we'll wait and see. We could get off to a dream start and have done. Get in! 1-0 Chelsea. Martial. Nice tackle by Koulibaly. Neto N'Golo Kante, Goretzka. Pulisic making moves. Gonna have his work out against Wan-Bissaka though, to be fair. He's an absolute monster of a defender. A defender's defender, you might say. Rodrigo. Oh! Rodrigo bangs it tops. We might be returning the battering they issued to us on the opening day. 2-0 up inside the opening half an hour, and Rodrigo has done it again. What a signing he's turning out to be. Martial. Step over works, and he's gotten past Koulibaly too. Rashford's in. United have one back immediately. Their two best players link up and have themselves one back. Martial destroyed me there, and then skips past me there with a knock on. Plays in Rashford, who's just thumped it home. That's a very good Manchester United goal. Right, as Alan Smith just said, we do very much have a game on our hands. Rodrigo to Kante, driving forward. He's calling for it there, Jadon Sancho. Jonas Hector is not going to be able to deal with the pace of the young Englishman. Delivered into the middle. Oh, Süle away. Probably not going to be able to whip many balls like that, thinking about it. With Süle and Harry Maguire in the middle, I'm going to have to keep the ball on the floor because Slabhead and the German Slabhead are going to be able to mop up defensively with those aerial balls, but keeping it on the floor and relying on some pace might actually really work for us. Oh, Rodrigo's in! It's 3! Süle is quick, eventually. Harry Maguire is really slow. Niklas Süle has 91 sprint speed, but only 58 acceleration. So he gets going, but he takes forever to get there. Rodrigo doesn't care. He's just going to run past him with that acceleration every single time. Lunged for it there, Süle, as a last-ditch attempt. Couldn't get to it. Rodrigo bangs in another. It's a brace for him. His 13th? His 12th goal of the Premier League season thus far. He's killing it for us this year, and he's killing Manchester United. Adnan Januzaj played him down the right. Chilwell tracking with him. Gets a foot in really nicely. We'll play this around. How this game is 3-1 after less than one half is beyond me. It's been such an entertaining game. Haven't had such open playing football for a while. It's been really rigid defences playing against us. Oh, again, Süle picks up the pieces. I need to stop doing that. I've scored 3 goals through the middle. I need to stop trying to whip it in from out wide. Goretzka gets that into Pulisic. Try and bend it. Harry Maguire in the way. It's going to be half-time momentarily, and we're going to lead by 3-1 at Old Trafford. We've had a couple of games recently where we've had to really grind to batter down a really defensive opposition, but this has been a free-flowing game, and we've made the most of it. 3-1 up at half-time. We start the second half on the front foot. Oh, no.
And that'll be a throw.
Pulisic with the throw. Oh, I wanted to aim that to Chilwell. Thankfully, with a succession of passes, we've been able to get it away from the Man United people that were Oh, loitering around. Goretzka's in. Oh, is he caught by Wan-Bissaka there? I'm not sure. Scuffed the shot regardless. And that was tame for David De Gea. 4-1 would certainly be game over. We, as we mentioned, lost by 3-0. 3-goal margin. We only have a 2-goal margin here thus far. And United have shown that they can score against us given the opportunity. So I have to ensure that we don't let them in again. They have only had that one shot on target, as you can see top left. They might be aiming for another one here. Kepa could probably have let that go. They've had the majority of the possession, Man United, 55% to my 45, but we've got 75% of the goals so far, and that is all we care about at this stage. It's really good football here as well. Kovacic bursting into the space. Turn on Fred. Get that to Rodrigo. Ah, oh, Kovacic ran offside. Annoying. Never mind. They'll play on. An hour played here. Half an hour to go. Still dominating possession, but we dominate the scoreline. Fred. Out to Wan-Bissaka. Into Fred again. Rashford around the corner to Wan-Bissaka. Adnan Januzaj. That's a good cross. And up we go. Hakimi just has to head anywhere to get rid of it. Making a couple of changes. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount coming on. See if we can get ourselves a fourth, perhaps. Alexis Sanchez delivers well. And Maguire wins that header. And Kepa was at full stretch, but wide from the England centre-back. Perhaps should have gotten that on target at least, but I'm happy enough that it went wide. Not going to ask for more from a Man United player. He can continue to head that wide if he likes. Get really lucky with Jadon Sancho there. Lovely switch out to Chilwell though. Rashford closing me down. He's been forced out of position now. They brought on Alexis Sanchez, I think, as well. Is that their number 7 in the midfield? Rodrigo. Lovely run by Pulisic. Cut out nicely by Wan-Bissaka. Is that Alexis Sanchez on for them? I'll just double check. Let's have a look. Man United. Yes, Alexis Sanchez on the right-hand side for Adnan Januzaj, and McTominay on for Fred. 2 changes apiece then, but no change to the scoreline in this second half so far. Alexis Sanchez. Oh, it's a lovely turn. Tried to hold him on the face there, apparently. Oh, Rudiger's trying his hardest. They'll take the advantage. Rashford surely will finish. Yeah, this isn't good. Rashford with his second and Manchester United's second of the game. Stepped in there and Rudiger just seemed to not acknowledge the ball. It's a good finish by Rashford, but I'm not entirely too sure how I haven't tackled Jesse Lingard there. It's 3-2. It's game on again. Last time they pulled one back, we needed to go and score a third. I'm going to try and do that again, but score a fourth. Rashford. Oh, there was the opportunity on to play. Running down the left-hand side, and he neglected to take that opportunity. Here's Andreas Pereira twisting away from me in the middle. Martial. Blocking off. Martial. Don't you dare get to that. Thank you, Rudiger. That was better. Actually reacted to the ball this time. Unlike when they just scored their second. McTominay, I've got me pinned in here, Man United. Lingard to Andreas Pereira. Out to Jonas Hector. Lingard again. I'm just chasing shadows at the minute. Hakimi does really well there. And I'm going to switch this as hard as I possibly can to ensure we get it away from danger. 2 minutes to go, and that big switch might just waste enough time for us to be able to see the game out. Thank you, referee. That was not as comfortable as it could have been with some defensive mistakes. Man United had me right up against it there, but we will take a 3-2 victory at Old Trafford. After losing 3-0 to them at the beginning of the season, certainly we have to be delighted with the way that we played there. 2 for Rodrigo, 1 for Goretzka, and 2 for Marcus Rashford as well. We'll go to the post-match interview as well. A big fixture like this deserves some sort of interview attendance, whether that be the pre-match or post-match. See what questions they're going to ask me. Why didn't Christensen play today? Team comes first. Rudiger and Koulibaly are playing well enough, although there was a mistake in there by Rudiger for their second goal. Chelsea's unbeaten so far in the Premier League. No, we're just on a bit of an unbeaten streak, but we're not obsessed with it, is the way I'll always respond to that. With 2 goals to secure a win, Rodrigo was a hero today. Another impressive performance from Rodrigo. He's absolutely incredible. Can't recommend him highly enough for you guys in your own saves. He may be 30 years of age, but he's deadly. Obviously 30 is only old in FIFA terms. In real life, striker could be yet to even hit their prime at 30 years of age sometimes. But we're going to move into the month of January. I'm not looking to move any... Oh, transfer. Whoa. 50 million. Oh, it's Tottenham. 50.3 million for Pulisic. No, go away. Tottenham can get screwed. 30.7 for Rudiger. He's valued at 31.5. No, go away. What on earth are you talking about? Who's talking to me? Oh, it's Jorginho. You've been in pretty good form lately. You haven't played, mate. It's not about you. I might sell Jorginho, you know, and maybe buy another midfielder. I'm not sure. I don't... Training injury. What is it with these first of the month training injuries? It's really starting to piss me off now. Almost every single month. You hit the first, you get a training injury. It's bullshit. Koulibaly's out for 8 weeks. Maybe I need a centre-back then. Oh, Christ. Christensen was complaining about no football. I mean, I probably don't. I've got Aspi I can throw in there if I need. Still, that's infuriating. That starting lineup, does it need improving anywhere? Probably not. The bench, does it need improving anywhere? Probably not. Maybe I could replace Jorginho with someone truly world-class, and then they could start ahead of Kovacic, but that would just lessen the amount of football still that Mason Mount and Ruben Loftus-Cheek are getting, because obviously Goretzka's in there as well already. I don't know what I want to do in January. I genuinely don't know. I'm going to need your feedback, though. I'll probably play the first half of the month before you guys see the January episode, just because of the way that my real life schedule is going at the minute. So I'll take on board your feedback with regards to transfers after tomorrow's episode and act on it for the second half of the month of January. Because let's be honest, there aren't really going to be any players that I need to scout, because we're looking for top quality, and all the top quality players, it already shows you their stats. I don't need to scout them. So that's where we'll end it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Do drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Make sure you're ready for the transfer window. Leave me your suggestions. I've no idea what to do. Genuinely no idea what to do. So we'll just have to wait and see what you guys reckon we should do in the final transfer window of the Chelsea save, probably. Considering, well, we'll see if European football's fixed next year, but I don't expect it to be. I think it's just broken. So we might just have to start a new save somewhere else. But we will try and win absolutely everything this season if we can, with regards to domestic trophies. So the treble is the aim. I'll see you tomorrow.